Hello everyone, I am Lotus Singogo, a founder of Mating ICT Solution. This is actually a space where I'll be taking you through website development, and I've got a course that I'm working on, and I'm here to welcome you to that course. The course is called Professional Website Development Course, and we'll be using simply HTML to develop a website. And of course, we'll be using a text editor, which is Notepad. It actually comes pre-installed on Windows, and we'll be also using Google Chrome to preview or to view our web pages. Okay, and now we are starting this website development, this professional website development, using a simple text editor, which is a Notepad. But I want to let you know that apart from just Notepad, there is also Notepad++, which you may wish to use, but you need to download it, such as VS Code, Visual Studio Code. The one that I use most times. There are other text editors like talk of there's Sublime, there's Atom. There are a lot of other text editors, okay, or IDEs that you can use when developing a website. But I want us to start these simple text editors. But at a later stage, as we begin to advance, we'll switch and we'll begin to use some of the advanced text editors. And one of it that we'll be using at a later stage will be Visual Studio Code. All right. And so some of the other things that you may wish to know is how you'll be able to access these lessons. And by the way, these will be uploaded for free, and they'll be uploaded on my Facebook platform. I'll also be uploading them on my YouTube channel with the same name, Mating ICT Solution. All right. Now, I don't want to leave anyone behind, and so what I've done is I've deliberately moved programming videos to Thursday. I wanted to be uploading these videos, professional website videos, on Wednesday, but I thought to say it may not be fair for those who may never have used computers or touched some of the gadgets that we may use to develop websites. So I've deliberately again set Wednesday for some basic computer lessons. All right, and here we'll be looking at something like Microsoft Word, how you can use an application which is Microsoft Word, how you can use Excel, PowerPoint, so that on Thursdays, that's when I'll be uploading programming videos. But Wednesdays will be specifically for some basics to do with computers, to prepare everyone to actually join us in programming lesson. All right, now there is a code that I coined, and we'll be using this code to advance ourselves. And there's also a call to action that I'll be sharing with you. Now, the code that I coined goes like, that powerful gadget in your hands can either help you build a future or destroy it. All right, so now this simply means that the choice on how we are going to use these gadgets is in our hands, right? Is in our hands. And one way of how I want us to take advantage of the gadgets that we have in our offices, is it in your hands, is it at our homes, is to be able to use them, to build, is it applications, build website. And by the way, all of us at some point we go online, okay? And all of us, as we use these gadgets that I'm just talking about, is it a tablet, is it a desktop, is it a laptop, you'd find, say, there is a time that would go online. And when you go online, what happens is that you'll be interacting, is it with websites? Sometimes if you're using your phone, it could be apps just and all those things. And this is the best time for you to develop interest to understand how these things are developed. Okay, so some people end up sharing sensitive information online because they are lacking the knowledge on how these things are built and how they are set online. But with this course or these courses that I'll be uploading on these channels that I've mentioned, that is my YouTube channel, that is my Facebook channel, I think you even become security conscious as you share your information online, because you know exactly how, when you share, let's say, information, where does that information go. For instance, if you log in, you have to create an account. Where is that information stored? So with these my courses, I can assure you, they are actually not only for those who would want to learn web development. They are for everyone who uses my videos. Are actually for everyone, not only those who want to learn, say, programming or just web development. Now, some of the things that you may wish to know as we progress is that, when we talk about websites or website development, I'll be able to, let me divide it into two anyway. So let's say there is what is known as, there are websites which are known to be static, and there are websites which are known to be dynamic. Now, this brings me back to where you need to understand, for you to know what static websites are and for you to know what dynamic websites are. This brings us back where we need to understand technologies or programming languages that are used to build a website. So now there is what we call front-end, what we call front-end language. These are the languages that we use to build websites. And when you build these front-end languages, these are languages that we use to build something that we interact with. So us as users, if you are just a user, what you've been doing is actually to just interact with the website. So the interface that you see when you open a website, it was built with one of the front-end language, and one of it is HTML. And in my courses, we'll start with HTML. And if we talk about HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. All right, this is just a language that helps you structure and define the content of a web page. But again, at a later stage, you bring in CSS, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. This comes in to style the website, right? It comes in to style the HTML content. Okay, then there is also JavaScript. These three languages are the ones used to build the front end, okay? But then you need to take note that HTML and CSS are not programming language, okay? Because when you use these, there is no logic behind them. There is less computation that is done when you're using these languages. So they are not programming languages. I've said HTML and CS. JavaScript is a programming language. All right. So now, after we understand front end, back end, I've talked about front end. Let's talk a bit about back end. Back end, these now are languages that helps, make website dynamic. Now, websites that are built without some back end interaction, these are static websites. But then the moment we bring in back end languages, talk of Python, and by the way, I'm working on a project, just creating videos, content on Python programming language. I'm sure you'll be seeing some of the videos in these channels that I've mentioned. That is my YouTube and also Facebook. You'll discover that Python is a backend language. JavaScript also works as a backend language. And you notice that as we progress, there are what we call frameworks that you begin to use as you advance. If we talk about Python, there is Flask, there is Django there. Talk about, is it JavaScript, there is Node.js. I'm sure you've heard of Node.js, something like that. And there is PHP for backend language, okay? Talk about some databases. You hear people talk about databases, and one of the things that you hear people mention, they'll talk about MySQL, they'll talk about SQLite, they'll talk about Postgres, mention these other databases. And so there's a lot that we'll be discussing in this channel. Cybersecurity inclusive. Right. Now, other things that you may wish to know is what we call responsive. Okay, so you hear somebody talking about, no, this website is responsive, this one is not responsive. What this simply means is that it's a modern way of designing or developing website. You develop a website, when you make it responsive, it simply means this website will be able to work well in any of the devices. Talk about, is it on the desktop? Is it on the laptop? Is it on a mobile phone? What about on the tablet? How is it sitting on these devices? Then if it is able to fit in all of these gadgets that I've mentioned without any problem, then just not to say there is something that was considered, for example, a media query, as the website was being built, and we call those websites responsive. All right, so now the call to action here in all the videos that I'll be uploading and in this platform is that what we are trying to do is to code the future, building a better tomorrow. I'll repeat this. The call to action in all that which will be happening as we make good use of the gadgets that I've mentioned is to code the future, building a better tomorrow. All right. I hope this has helped give an overview of some of the things that I'll be uploading in this channel, and invite those who may be interested. But like I mentioned, these courses are for everyone, not only for those who want to learn how to develop websites, but even those who may not be willing, because this channel will actually cater for so many programming languages. That one I can assure you. There are C++ lessons that will be coming on the way. You talk of Java, just to keep ourselves, well acquainted with the programming languages in place, and how we can make use of them and develop something useful. When you're using these gadgets that I've mentioned here, you should have interest of how the app was developed. When I go online, how are these things developed? How are websites even developed? Once you have that mind, you have even more interest, to be able to learn and be able to share the knowledge that I'll be sharing in my channel, in this channel, and also, let me say, my Facebook channel and also my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Hoping to see you as I begin to upload this. Thank you. See you in my next video as we jump right into the actual programming. Thank you. Appreciate. I hope this helps you. The only way you're going to enjoy this is actually by doing whatever I'm doing. Follow along, type where you have errors, debug those errors. When you still have challenges, make sure you contact me, involve me, I'll help out, and we progress just like that. Don't rush. We are not in a sprint, we are in a marathon. Okay, so programming is all about patience and actually practicing. That's what takes a good programmer to be called a good programmer anyway. All right, see you in the next lesson.